very large down payment towards something else. If I get the right, who knows? The right thing to pop up. It's a lot of emotion because I've had the place for almost 4 years now. And I grow attached to things. I do. I don't just easily forget them. That's part of the reason why I kind of really start working on this place very much. And it's a lot. It's like, is this worth getting attached to? So I'm hoping that, it comes through and the money's fine and there's no issues. Just be fine.
You're going to do what I told you to do.
You just found 3.5 acres, 229. Very good. Where? That's awesome. 3.5 acres. Wow. Does it have a house on it? If it doesn't have a house on it, that's crazy expensive. And obviously, I'm not going to look at real estate that I'm going to go live in. And there's another reason. I don't really want to stay here. It's been addresses on the internet, and nefarious bad actors have made it very clear. I get literal death threats in my email, guys. I get literal death threats. Okay, here we go. Map sheet. Oh, she wrote up 2 different ones. I do not understand why none of all these buyers want closing costs and all this other stuff, but when I try to lowball on something. Anyway, guys, I'm finished 1,000 square foot. That's smaller than you think it is. 1,000 square foot is smaller than you think it is. That's one thing I learned. This is about 850 living, and including the breezeway and the utility room and the garage. It's 1,100 square feet. It's a lot smaller than you think it is. I hope that 1,000 square feet is laid out really well because, hop off here, got a headache. See you, Drew. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get off here too. One thing I will say about 1,000 square feet, it's a lot smaller than real quick. Really fast. It's 131.3. Let me do some quick math before I get off here because I already know 131.3. Let's see, my cost basis it's about $85,000. $46.7,000 in taxes, so 131.3 becomes 125 after taxes. Whatever. Because I already made too much. Well, if I don't stream for the rest of the year, that's stupid. It's like, if I didn't do another YouTube video or didn't stream for the rest of the year, I might, well, no, not even, because the net proceeds off of the house go into your total income for that equation. So I would be in the 15% bracket anyway. Yeah. And I can't 1031 exchange it because I'm not moving into an investment property. You really can't do that with primary residences. Yeah, boomstick and all this other shit. Look, I don't want to have to do. All right, guys. It's 9:30. I gotta get off here. It's a school night, so we got some good news today. I may or may not stream tomorrow. Depends on how this goes. I'm I'm kind of due a little bit of a break, to be honest with you. Um, we'll see. We'll see how I feel. If I stream tomorrow, it'll probably be on the other channel. I don't know. This month was awesome. Thank you again, guys, for everything. For real, this month was fantastic. Um, and yeah, I got a lot. I got a lot of reading to do, and I got a lot of freaking um, math to do, and overthinking, and then all that. So I will. I got to decide. Like, yeah, thank you, Big Metal. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, we will. We will reconvene at a later date. I'm not going to promise tomorrow because I don't know if I'm going to do it tomorrow, but we'll see you guys later. Peace.
How did you get such a luxurious motorcycle?
Everything you want is in Kingshot. No ads, real awards.
Israeli chief of staff warns that Israeli forces are on course to collapse. This is real, by the way. Chief of staff Zamir warns IDF will collapse soon. Manpower raises 10 red flags. They're having trouble. Real trouble. If there is no solution to the shortage of manpower, the hosting a security cabinet meeting held on Wednesday. I'm raising 10 red flags before the IDF pops into itself. Now, there's two elements to this. On one hand, it makes sense that a chief of staff would be like, come on, guys, we need more recruitment. We're going to fall apart. We need more recruitment. Nazi said the same thing. But legitimately, Israel is facing a lot of stress right now. You know, they're very used to dishing it out, but not so much taking it, which is why the depletion of their interceptors and Iron Dome capabilities have led to a lot of disillusionment now that Iran seems to be able to strike Israel with, well, not with impunity, but a lot more easily. Also, they're having a severe manpower shortage. Neil Team 6, thank you. A severe manpower shortage because the IDF is like everywhere. I mean, think about it. They have how many hundreds of thousands? They have like how many people in active deployment right now? Active IDF deployment. They've got people in the West Bank. They've got people in the Gaza Strip. They've got people occupying southern Lebanon. They've got people around the border. They've got people all over the fucking place. The military is looking to mobilize 400,000 reservists to shore up this. Yeah, they're moving to mobilize 400,000. That is a significant portion of the Israeli population. That's like, keep in mind that even in shithole-ass Russia, Putin has been wary about mass mobilization, though in that case it'd be conscription, not mobilization of reservists, but, you know, still. For just a small percentage of the population of the country. But this would be like, 5% of the population of Israel? They're still struggling with the Haredi population, which refuses to fight because they're fucking lazy. Haredi draft bill set aside amid war. Netanyahu announced from the beginning of Operation Roaring Lion the draft bill will be set aside for unity reasons. It would not be advanced during the war. It's actually a really big schism in Israel because a significant portion of Israel's population and also of their birth rate is Haredi Jews. They would be outraged if they were forced to fight because these people won't even get a fucking job, right? If they won't even get a fucking job, they don't want to fight in a war. Okay, that's not. But there is a significant enough portion of the population that it would probably lead to severe social unrest if you started drafting them. Also, a lot of them would probably frag their commanding officers. Also creating a lot of resentment from the non-Haredi population, which is, to be fair, a little bit justified. Not to say that, the average Israeli should be happy about baby mulching, which is, clearly their favorite pastime. But if I were a Hitlerite Israeli being drafted by the government to fight in the IDF, I would not be happy if like a third of the population got to skip out in it just by virtue of being part of the lazy Orthodox cult. I would not be happy about this. They're also a massive strain on their welfare systems. Yeah, because they don't. It's crazy. Damn, they say Israel's fucking right, but they're doing work abolition in Israel, That's very left. Won't the Haredi wives go for them? Nah. Former IDF Chief of Staff, Gadi Eisenkot, Yashar, exclamation point, said that the law for mandatory service is full audit under the hour. It is a moral imperative. Only it will return Israel to the right path and safeguard reservists head though said the chief of staff is right in snipping who requires soldiers to use the service as a resource and wears them down to the limit. Yashar, it sounds like one would say in Silk Song. It's not going well for Israel, They're also having long-term morale problems. Keep in mind the IDF has been deployed for years. I mean, since October 7th, they have been cycling through like IDF deployments consistently. And there is a waning morale there. Yashar is a political party. Yeah, but why the exclamation point? Real question, why don't countries mass draft women? I mean, there's a lot of reasons that are sexist, but the general reason, like historically, is that women in the draft age are supposed to be getting fucked and having kids, whereas guys can come back from the war and then fuck and have kids. It's pretty much that simple. If you want to keep your numbers up long term, the women stay, they house rear, they keep the children safe, and they get pregnant, and the men can go off and die because one man can impregnate multiple women. Doesn't work the other way. You can't have a baby in a war zone. Yeah, it's just very basic, like biology. It's the stuff that transgenders don't want you to know about. The wokeness is making it illegal to talk about in science classes across the nation. No, this is not a problem that Israel can solve just by drafting women. They already do. I mean, women are also part of the IDF reservist force. So cucking military men is kind of patriotic. You're kind of right. You're just shoring up the nation's demographics, their replacement rate, Oh, sorry, GI, sorry, Jarhead, you're off in the Middle East right now. I'll take up my civic duty of impregnating your wife. How many Heredis will sign up? None. What you fucking talking about, man? They're religiously exempt. Religiously exempt. It's crazy. Anyway, there's a point to this, you know? It goes beyond, like all bullies, right? They can dish it out to the kids. The IDF is strained and overworked. They've been on constant deployment. Also, the average is just not that willing to die for the cause. You know, the Nazis were insanely hyped up on zealotry, and American soldiers enlisting in World War II knew what they were signing up for. They knew that they were signing up to, like, stop the world from ending. Like, they understood the stakes of this conflict. But a lot of IDF soldiers basically just, Jerusalem Post, what are you trying to hide from me? You see that? They're the deep state. They're censoring it. They don't want me to know that the IDF is faltering. Conscription does not typically lead to eager soldiers. It's the same problem that you get from all modern developed countries, which is that people are comfortable and don't want to die. Okay, it's not America in the 1930s coming out of the Great Depression. People aren't boiling their shoe leather to make soup over there. Israel is by and large a modern country in every respect except politically, where it's rooted in the 19th century attitude. But infrastructurally, they're modern. You know, people have gotten used to a comfortable life. Nobody wants to go out there and die for nothing. Everyone's lazy. No one believes in anything. It's kind of like how Nazis back in the 1930s died en masse to try to, you know, the Nazis today would rather die than order pizza off the phone. Nazis today, like, Fuentes, like, America's strongest Nazi, it took him for 5 years. His own community repeats his ideology back to him, and he goes, that's fucking cringe, I'm done, I'm a liberal now. I'm voting for Kamala Harris or whatever. These, like, modern Nazis are not as committed as they used to be. No one wants to die. Everyone's history, etc. It's the same with the IDF. The IDF do not want to fight a peer-to-peer conflict. They do not want to get IED by Hezbollah. You know, the IDF rape Palestinians and blow up apartment blocks filled with babies. Like that's what they signed up for. And if you ask them to do more than that, they get uncomfortable. It's true. I gotta say though, I'm a little bit nervous. My concern here is what happens if the Zionists and they falter, and then Israel just kind of implodes a little bit, but then in 5 years we just end up doing this again. You know what I mean? Like, the idea is overstressed, they have to bring things to Israeli society kind of recedes for a bit if they lick their wounds, but 5 years from now they treat this whole business like the fucking Treaty of Versailles, and they get again, you know, and they start invading every neighboring country. Maybe the Haredi will save us, you know? In 5 years, 50% of the population will be Haredi babies or something. Are you actually worried about the Samson option, or is that more of a trivia fact? I'm super fucking worried about it, dude. Israel's government is insane. That's a real concern. They have hundreds and hundreds of nukes, and they think they're better than every other person on the planet. They're crazy. How many nukes they have? Estimates range between, I think, like 50 and 400, but the most credible, I think people, even Israeli prime ministers, have indicated they have something around 200 to 400. I'm not there crazy enough to use nukes. I think they're 100% crazy enough to use nukes, given the right circumstances. Not like, you know, on a whim. They aren't, Vosh. I bet my life in it. Oh, you bet your life on nuclear war not happening? How brave of you. And what happens if you're wrong? You die in the same nuclear war as me, so no one's there to call the bet. I get you. Life insurance policy ass. Iran's still operating munitions economy and continue to launch 10 to 15 missiles each day over the course of a month or two, and has one launcher stay at pace. It's insane. 10 to 15 missiles a day, even if this only translates into 3 or 4 accurate hits, could still shut down the entire Middle East in a matter of months or years. I mean, God. All you have to do is hit the right facilities. You can't have regional instability anymore. You can't do it the way we used to be able to, you know? Jesus Christ. I mean, hasn't the Middle East as a whole shut down like 30% of its production? Around 30%, right? J.D. Vance said Iran could have used the Duke suicide vest. That's so funny. Did he really? Sure, man. So I say options. I think it's important the American people know options for what? And it's options to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. You talk about people who walk into a crowded supermarket and have a vest on, and they blow up the vest, and a couple of people get killed, and that's a terrible tragedy. What happens when what's on the vest is not something that can kill a couple of people, but can kill many, many tens of thousands of people. That is the most important American national security objective that exists for any administration at any time. Is you don't want the worst people in the world to have a nuclear weapon. That's why the president is doing this. That's why the president cares so much about this particular issue. I do appreciate him. Like, we all know J.D. Vance was not happy about this war because it fucks him for re-election. I'm so happy that they're forcing him to defend it. You know, like, we know he's not happy about it because he basically stopped posting on Twitter when it happened. He used to be very prolific on Twitter, and then, well, I guess also part of it was the one guy, what's his name? You were the only baby ever wore trading for Connor Reese pants. Yeah, thank you. That had to be half of it. But the other half, I think, was the Iran war. But does Iran ever use suicide bombers? They did use suicide tactics a lot in the Iran-Iraq war, but now suicide bombing, I think, is more of a like insurgency thing. Iran hasn't been fighting an insurgency because nobody's invaded and occupied Iran. I mean, certainly they provided aid and support to groups that have done suicide bombing, but that's not exactly that. Drones kind of replace suicide bombing. Why do a suicide bombing when you can get a drone? You know, get better. Well, again, Iran did do a lot of wacky stuff when they were fighting Iran. You know, all the mass civilian conscriptions walking into minefields. Right after the Islamic Revolution, they got all their craziest motherfuckers, and they were like, all right, Saddam Hussein laid lines like 100 miles this way, so just get to walking. Today, 30 to 40 from French Finance Minister Roland Lescure said Wednesday the world's now facing a conflict that has changed in nature and therefore the economic consequences have also changed. Today, 30 to 40% of the refining capacity in the Gulf is damaged or destroyed. That is unbelievable. It has been less than a month. I spoke with the Qatar Minister of Energy, Saad Shabida Al-Kabi, who said 17% of gas production capacity is destroyed following attacks on these facilities, which will take years, 3 years at least, to restore. Insane. Like craziest people you meet, teenage boys, taking out lives. They're bad? Yeah, you know, mad lives. War not over them? No, Iran effectively controls the strait and probably will. I don't want to say indefinitely because that's a big call, but we do not seem to have the ability to stop that control. Especially with the recent wars that Mohammed bin Salman apparently has been encouraging Trump to do these attacks, even as the rest of the Saudi Arabian government has opposed them. It seems to me like all of the regional governments are basically giving Iran permission to continue striking their facilities. You know, like, why the fuck would they? Israel's still invading Lebanon, still genociding Palestinians. There was never a ceasefire. They still kill. And the Gulf states are still like aiding and abetting the tyrannical Western and Israeli regime in the region. It really is crazy how much they fucked up. Yeah, in a minute we'll talk about the extent of the fuel crisis in East Asia and Australia because it's getting really, really bad over there. Israel forces to get boots to the ground. Ken Levenstein posted an article this morning where he talked about an inside report that claimed that Trump doesn't actually intend to take Khark Island, but is rather taking the threat to take Khark Island. It's using it as a kind of like deterrent, you know what I mean? Using it to put pressure on Iran to accept the 15-point deal that Trump and his cronies are pushing. But if that is the plan, I think it's an insane one. I do not think that Iran is going to agree to the plan. For one, Iran has already flatly said no. They have just very straightforwardly said no, and they're not even going to negotiate. Iran said they would take a look at the plan, but that they have no interest in negotiating because every time they negotiate with America, we interrupt the negotiations and bomb them, which is true. But the so-called peace plan is not workable. Iran will not agree to it. I would be shocked if they ever did. If something happened that pushed Iran to agree to our 15-point peace plan.
First, Iran today has dismissed a 15-point American plan to pause the war in the Middle East. This according to Iranian state television a short while ago. The Iranian government also reportedly announcing its own proposal today, asking for more reparations and for sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. With me now, Philip Tell, our foreign affairs editor, has been following developments closely for us. Lots of news coming out of Iran, lots of statements, and a couple of hours before that, lots of statements coming out of Washington. What's your read as to where we are right now?
Trump says Biden attacked Iranian energy facilities. Look, he's going to keep doing this up and down and up and down. It's all insider trading, okay? But while Trump continues to fuck with the market, slowly but surely, Iran is continuing to extend their influence over the region. They're striking more energy infrastructure. They're continuing to impose a toll on the vessels that are passing through the strait. Nothing material is changing.
It's no surprise that we've had this.
Holy shit. Old Sam Hyde. His glasses are giving me Sam Hyde.
I'll just take my by the Iranians so we can comment right
Oh, hey.
Also feels so badly.
Hello. Why do I look tired? Well, my body is still recovering. Well, what, like 2 nights ago or something? My ex called me chopped and fat. Yeah, you were here. But yeah, I've started doing cardio and stuff, and my body is still recovering. Like I could barely walk today. So between that and fixing my diet, trying to completely fix things, so my body is getting used to it. That and I didn't sleep until like 7 a.m. again. What are you doing? Ooh, just relaxing on the couch. Holy shit. Any plans for this week? Just exercising. I feel like there was something else. But yeah, just working, getting unchopped. Getting some of that extra money to come in. It smells like someone's cooking something right now. Since it is Sunday, I know it's going to be a short night tonight. So I think I only have like 30 more minutes here. Since I need to do my other grinds. Just waiting back from work and Gregory. 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a long time. There's a lot that can happen in 30 minutes. Ooh, quite a lot. Then I think I'll do my usual thing. Since this is basically my off day. Any predictions for you? I think we should let it be a surprise.
Encompass within Iran, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I think the big error from the United States is the days of bombing raids on Tehran and regime would collapse, that would be the end of it. Well, that's not the case. That was a total misjudgment on the part of the United States. That's why Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, has been talking in the last few minutes, saying that the world is staring down the barrel of a wider war. This is our position. Yeah, because, unfortunately, America and Israel proved the hardliners in Iran right. Iranian moderates have been proven wrong. Iranian moderates have been arguing for the terms for peace, for moderate talks with Israel and America. And what happened? We bombed them and killed all their leadership in peace talks. We killed them. We've proven the hardliners correct. Iran needs to nuclearize, maintain an incredibly strong regional presence, fund, give more money to their fucking proxies. They have to. Go on far too long and get worse the longer the fighting goes on. So concern around the world, certainly in the Western capitals of the Gulf. I think the most in the United States and also in Asia about where this is going to end up at the end of the day. What President Trump's next plan is he preparing a ground offensive where all these troops being built up into the area, 5,000 Marines, 2,000 or so airborne troops does that signal this ultimatum on Friday, which is due to expire at midnight, that Donald Trump can launch some kind of offensive into
Let me get one prediction.
bring back the state of
I guess I can. I guess I can. I guess I can give you. I can give you that. God, I have such cool stuff that I'm gonna get done this week. Oh my god. I think a lot of great things are gonna happen. Let's see. Well, look at what we have here. The message card. Looks like you're going to be quite fortunate. For us, maybe. Depends.
H&R Block makes filing your taxes really convenient. File in person at your local office, virtually from the comfort of your home, or just drop off your docs and we'll get it done. Either way, get your taxes done the same day, sometimes in as little as an hour. H&R Block, file your way. Now, here's something I have learned over the years.
Fast moving or communication? It's talking about communication. Yeah, it's talking about communication. Paper butterfly is running through a crystal sphere.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Online Podcast. I'm Joe Pleasant.
And I'm Tracy Holloway.
Tracy, one of the things that I've been learning the last few weeks, no, that's for real. Like, so out there in breaking out in Middle East, using oil, right? And that's probably actually where my mind would typically stop, is the price of oil. We all are watching the price of oil, but there are a lot of other things that are sourced from the region that are critical. I'm not joking. Like,
I'm not joking.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm laughing because we have one of those things floating between us. So speaking of stuff that comes out of the Gulf region, here's one of those things. Not
listeners can see it.
not the aluminum itself, although probably aluminum also comes out of the Gulf, but helium.
Tracy is looking at helium.
I did one of our lovely producers did. I have to say, I haven't held a balloon for a long time, and it's surprisingly entertaining. So
Okay, while you hold on to it, I'll go a little bit further, which is, I feel bad for the people on helium because my understanding is that the helium has some pretty important industrial properties. There's not a lot of substitutes for it. Like some of this helium will go, bombs are going to bigger funny places, etc.
any chance we have to actually bring one of the quantities that we talk about on the show into the studio, I'm going to see. So there is some helium.
Well, the fact that the balloon is floating is an indicator of the fact that it must have some interesting properties as an element that perhaps, perhaps have other applications. I don't know. I mean, it's all looking something fun. And it's
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because initially I was going to take this balloon and, do the thing where you breathe in the helium. And
What?
have the funny lung. So I thought for an audio video, maybe it would work.
And you won't tell me from who?
Researching
Why would
helium, I read about
why would I do that? That's like the most fun part, is not knowing where it's coming from. I think you could narrow it down to at least two possible origin points.
Whatever, or something talking about. Anyways, there's been a lot of requests for a helium episode. We've never done one. Incidentally, years ago, I used to make this guy. You would know, but you would know helium all of the things you want these guys that had this like weird and everything. You also had like a helium.
That you need a paper butterfly is running through a crystal sphere. Has the timeline shifted for communication, or is it the same? It's the same. You diamond underneath your grief. Shanoabi, Shanoabi, Bashira, Shanoabi, Bashira. A paper butterfly is running through a crystal sphere.
American Helium, which mines and sells helium out of Canada. So, Nick,
You'll be underneath your wing.
I would argue that, like, days ago, I think helium company had, like, that everyone, 99% of the time, people are just going to think that's like the influence and therefore can't be
Used to it, I've got kids and they had to exercise in school. Asked me what their parents did. They said that I blocked ones. So used them to get
Okay, well, why don't we ask, in all seriousness, what are the industrial applications for helium beyond entertaining us in balloon form?
So the biggest demand source, which you've probably seen in the news, that because the events in Iran, is manufacturing semiconductors. And beyond that,
This is really interesting. This is really interesting. I like it. I like it.
rockets for space exploration, and then there's a number of pretty durable, long-standing uses, including detection, everything from every cell in electric batteries.
What's hilarious though on the calendar is it's still March and April, so there's communication this week. Yes, it's quite interesting.
Right, so what is it about the element helium that gives it these properties such that it's useful and what you described as a fairly wide range of industrial applications?
So what makes it so useful is it's got 3 or 4 things going for it. One is that it has the lowest I think that's 70 degrees Celsius. And that's really important for
Those at that negative 452 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's quite cool.
we're Canadian company.
Kelvin is our common language. We don't have to fight Fahrenheit versus Celsius here. We're gonna class hands with Kelvin. Anyway,
So just as one other point along makes it very unique. So if we want to have something very cool, that's primarily low temperature physics and superconductors. But the boiling point is also important for launching rockets because if you're launching rockets, you can't the rocket fast enough because the volume is so large. So you need to pressurize those rockets and then primarily done helium, lightweight, but also it's the only substance that is non-reactive that remains a gas at the temperature of liquid oxygen before the comparison.
Okay, and where does helium come from?
We forgot about all the other important parts of what makes helium.
oh yeah, keep going. Sorry, keep
I
going.
thought you were done.
Yeah, sorry, keep going.
So it also, in addition to being a very cold substance as a liquid, it's also it's a great heat transfer medium. So if you think about fiberglass insulation in your walls is an insulator, and the copper pot you cook eggs in is
I do feel like April Energy going to be intense or something, if that makes sense. Can I ask, moving to NYC this month, yes or no? Okay, if you wanted to know that, you'd have to commission for it. That one, gonna have to dig deep. Oh my god. Okay, I'm getting a drink, but it might take me a while because, like I said, my legs are fried. So I have to limp walk.
Wait, just to be clear on semiconductor lithography, the actual etching, how is the helium used in that process? Is it just like in the environment around to keep it cool, or like how is it being deployed?
So I'm not an expert here. I don't really get out of my depth, but basically, they have a light source and a mask, and then they have to deposit something on there that is made for deposition. They need a carrier gas or whatever they're depositing on there. They need that to be something with a very high heat
causing demand to grow so quickly in sleep recoveries. And I've seen estimates that the new leading edge chips use 10 times more helium per chip than older technologies. So the helium demand from that sector is growing at roughly double the volume of silicon from that sector is growing.
Okay, and I feel very after school special asking this next question while next to a balloon, but where does helium actually come from?
So helium is only created on Earth by, as you said, radioactive decay of uranium and thorium. And helium itself is not radioactive. In fact, it's nuclear. There's oxygen in there as well. What's interesting about helium is that, unlike any other mineral, once you use it, it leaves the atmosphere. So you can't go get it out of the landfill after the fact. So that means that you can only find helium on Earth underground where it is trapped. And the integration timescales are roughly an order of magnitude larger than oil and gas. So oil and gas deposit might have taken 10 million years to include in helium. You're talking about hundreds of millions of years because it's a very slow process.
And then what's its connection? So we're going to get to North American helium and the deposits that you have access to, but there's helium deposits, and then helium also emerges as a byproduct of natural gas. So talk to us about how helium comes out of the ground. Typically, if we're talking about the Middle East somewhere, Qatar, where there's a lot of gas, versus say where you're mining it, then we get into some of these different processes.
So that's really primarily a function of exploration.
Okay.
Helium is much more rare than natural gas, but most of the opportunity supply comes as a byproduct of natural gas because there's been a huge amount of exploration drilling for natural gas, so that's what they found. And then there's one gigantic field in the U.S. continent called Blue Ridge. It's been on production for over 100 years. That's what we use for originally to build the Federal Helium Reserve.
Build a wall higher still. Keep it tall. Final will. Should not be. Ravens on the wing. Wah, wah, wah. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know if your ex is happy with the decision she took for you to both not be together. And you want to know if she's going to change or is she going to stay in her old habits of betraying people. Going by your cards, the devil in the primary position and reversed does show that right now, while it does seem to be that she's enjoying the choice that she made, it is not without a great cost. So it seems that she does seem to be someone who follows her impulses. And even though she feels good in the moment, it seems to always come back to bite her. Knight of Wands in the secondary position shows that she will change her mind a little bit, but it's very disorderly. This falls in line with all the other chaotic energies showing up in the reading when it comes to her. So it seems as though she will inevitably come back around to you. However, I would advise keeping her at a distance, as evidenced by Four of Swords in the final position and reversed. It is showing that you're honestly a lot better off without her in your life. So when she inevitably does come around, you need to go ahead and just understand that she will not change in any way fundamentally, and she will continue to do her usual sneaky betrayal type behaviors. So honestly, you're just better off not really being engaged with her. Now, if you want more information about what the future holds between the two of you, as well as any other issues that may come up, you can give me a call or send me a message. No, kaze no kishi, no, kaze no ishi, build the wall higher still, build it tall, far away. Should know I be ravens on the wing. My food. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know if Michael is going to introduce you to Renata? Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know if Michael is going to introduce you to his family or if he's hesitant because he's in love with someone else. Going by your cards, the Chariot in the primary position and reversed does show that he will inevitably introduce you to his family. It just won't really be as structured as you're maybe wanting it to be. Ace of Pentacles in the secondary position is also showing that, as far as to why he is a little hesitant, it is because he's just not sure what the reaction will be like due to how his family is. Now, as far as him being involved with someone else, Four of Wands in the final position in reverse does show that he's not really interested in anyone outside of you. So I don't think you need to really worry about that. Overall, it just seems as though mainly he wants the interaction between you and his family to just be as close to perfect as he wants. And I mess up at the finish line. I mess up at the finish line. Oh my god. Oh my god. I hate it. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if Michael is going to introduce you to his family or if he's hesitant because he's in love with someone else. Going by your cards, the Chariot in the primary position and reversed shows that he will inevitably introduce you to his family, but it won't be as structured as you'd like it to be. Now, Ace of Pentacles speaks to why he's so hesitant, which shows that he's just not really secure in knowing how exactly you and his family will hit it off with each other. So it shows that he's trying to take steps to try and make it as close to perfect as he possibly can, which is causing the delay. Now, as far as you're concerned as to whether he's in love with someone else, Four of Wands in the final position and reversed is serving as a decisive no towards this. So I don't think you need to worry about him having feelings for anyone else right now. Now, if you want to know about what the future holds between the two of you, as well as any issues that may come up revolving around you and his family, you can give me a call or send me a message. I am a fighter, hunting for my dream. You remember how you said Gregory stressed about an event? Yes, I remember. Has an event coming up April 16th. What kind of event? Is it like video games or what? Hosting an event with someone, it's a masquerade. Oh, masquerades are quite fun. That's a trademark of my state. Yes, yes, you said that already. Yes. Yes. So you were right. Oh. I am a fighter hunting for my dreams. This right about something else? What do you mean? I am a fighter hunting for my dream. Oh no! Oh no! It's that time. Uh-oh. It's the short day alarm. 30 minutes. So yeah. I'll be hitting the dusty trail, but I'll be back tomorrow. Of course, you have my number if something comes up. But I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.